Hey, what's up everybody? Welcome to Batman Arkham Origins. My name is PersNikity and we are going to be starting a playthrough on I Am the Night mode. So I Am the Night mode is a permadeath mode of Batman, and basically you unlock it after beating the main story and after beating the New Game Plus, and that's how you unlock I Am the Night. So basically what permadeath means, in case you don't know, is if you die once, that's it, start the game over. Now, I'm going to be going through a few key tips and stuff in this first video, but I'm also including all of the cutscenes for people. So we're going to go ahead and start a new game, and yeah, once the cutscene's over, I'll kind of run through how this is going to work.
Police and emergency services are urging Gotham residents to stay off the roads and in their homes tonight in light of the severe winter storm warning.
Man is the island, Bruce. You've been back for almost 2 years now. You can't expect me to believe that Gotham's most eligible bachelor is spending another Christmas alone.
You just ran out of time.
Knowing that tonight we put to rest one of Gotham's most heinous and relentless killers, Julian Gregory Day.
Commissioner Loeb, any comment on the rumor that it wasn't actually the cops who captured Mr. Day?
There is no such thing as a Batman.
Captain Gordon! Captain Gordon! Commissioner Loeb!
No further questions, no further questions.
All units, code 10 at Blackgate Prison. Communication is down, possible to 11.
Delta 6-4 en route.
Dispatch 5-9. Confirm code 10. This is a breakout.
Suspect identified as Black Mask. Repeat, code 10 suspect is Black Mask. Commissioner Loeb is being held captive. Repeat, Commissioner Loeb is 701.
You do realize it is Christmas Eve, sir.
Alright, so here we go. We're about to start off the game, and I just want to point out, so I left all the cutscenes in here so that you can enjoy the game for the story if you want to. I'm not going to be talking during any of the cutscenes or during any of the story-related dialogue moments, so just so you know that. Now, an important thing here that I want to mention is you'll notice I'm upgrading. That's because your experience and your upgrades carry over from all of your previous playthroughs. And that's really going to come in handy. You're going to want to make sure you upgrade the proper things, which are mainly your health, and then there's a couple different takedowns that you're going to want to get.
No, please, not at all.
Oh, I'll kill you, all right. But by the time I do, that eye won't be the only thing you're missing.
What is that? Behind you.
Oh, come on. Expect me to fall for that? I mean, try something original. Ah! Back off!
No, stay away. Don't hurt me. Oh, I heard the rumors, but you're not supposed to be
Who tore this place apart?
I don't know what it is. It's huge.
Where is Black Mask?
I don't know. He's here for Commissioner Loeb. Maybe one of his men knows where he's headed.
Alright, so for the most part, during this playthrough, the entire playlist, I'm not going to be talking during the entire gameplay. Basically, I'll pop in during the tricky sections that I think need my commentary, but other than that, I think you can probably just watch along in the parts that you're having trouble at, and hopefully the gameplay itself will help you get past those tough sections. Now, a couple things I want to say in this video, though. So this video, since it's the start of the whole thing, I'll probably talk a lot more. So there's some things I want to point out. One is, I mentioned already that your upgrades and everything carry over from the previous playthroughs. Now, there's a couple things you're going to want to do. If you haven't done them already, the first things you're going to want to upgrade is your health. You're going to want to get full combat armor and full ballistic armor. Because obviously, in this mode, if you die once, that's it, so you're going to want to make sure your health is to the max. Now, there's 2 combat takedowns which I highly recommend having. So this is going to be different based on whatever system you're playing on, but there's a certain takedown which requires pressing A and B, or on PlayStation, X and circle. And what happens during this takedown is Batman jumps in the air and he throws batarangs at any enemies that are currently on the ground. This is a super effective takedown, which you'll see me use numerous times throughout this playthrough, because it can take out up to like 5 or 6 enemies in one move, and that is huge when you're going up against a group of like 25 guys. The other takedown is a single takedown, but it's also an instant takedown, and that's the one where you press BY, or on PlayStation, circle triangle. So those are the 2 takedowns that you're going to want to get, but you'll notice right there in the upper left hand corner my health is already full, and so those are the most important upgrades. Upgrading all your gadgets and everything, sure, it's helpful, but it's secondary in my opinion. So you see right there, I used that takedown and I got 2 guys in one, and I just took out 3 enemies in 7 moves. That's how effective that takedown becomes. Now, another thing I want to mention is the whole permadeath thing. So this is I Am the Night mode, and what that means is that if you die, you start the game over again. Now, there are a couple ways around this. I am proud to say that during my playthrough, I actually only died 1 time, but I was able to get around it, which is what I'll tell you in a second. Basically, if you die, what'll happen is the screen will fade to black, and then it'll show the villain, and the villain will taunt you, and then it'll say, you died, restart the checkpoint. What you want to do is, if you want to play it extra safe, if you think you're even about to die, so if you're on the very, very lower end of your health, then I would just restart the checkpoint, because you can restart the checkpoint as many times as you want without risking your playthrough. If you think you can finish a fight without running out of health, well, then what you're going to want to do is, if you end up going past all your health, right before you die, so basically when it turns into slow motion and Batman is like falling over, you're going to want to pause the game and restart the checkpoint, and if all else fails, you better jump out of your seat and turn off your Xbox or PlayStation, because if you do that on time, it'll save your playthrough.
They say crime doesn't pay. Someone ought to check the good police commissioner's pockets, because they are lined with my money. And what have I got to show for it, huh? My own men in the slammer? Not no more. No, tonight, we're making some changes. Some big changes.
Alright, so yeah, the important thing to take away from that is, if you're about to die, find a way to either pause the game, restart the checkpoint, or just turn off the system and then turn it back on, and you should be fine. So like I was saying, this happened to me once, and I'll point these sections out, but basically what'll happen is sometimes you'll be prompted to do like a quick time event, and sometimes if you don't do that quick time event, you'll end up dying. So the only time I actually died during this playthrough was near the end when you fight Firefly. There was a sequence where I was supposed to counter, and I didn't know it because I thought I was in a cutscene when I wasn't, and I missed the counter and I died, and because I wasn't expecting it, I wasn't able to pause the game quick enough, so what I did was I actually jumped out of my seat and turned off the Xbox, and when I turned it back on, I loaded up the game, and because I was quick enough, the game didn't save my death, so my file was, you know, uncorrupted, and I was able to just restart from the checkpoint right before I died. So there's ways around the permadeath. So really all you're doing is playing this game on New Game Plus mode. You just have to be careful if you start nearing death, because you have to say, okay, should I restart the checkpoint, or am I going to be able to finish this section without dying?
What's all this about, Sionis? Haven't I always come through for you?
You may have, Gillian, but things have changed. We're starting with a clean slate, and you're not on it.
What are you talking about? I'm not on it? After all I've done for you. You can't do this! I'm the police commissioner, damn it!
Show's over, boys.
Alright, so one thing that I'm not really a fan of in games is when you have to unlock certain difficulty modes. I don't care for that. I think that all of the difficulties should be unlocked right when you start the game. But one good thing about I Am the Night mode not being playable until you finish the game and New Game Plus is that basically everything you do trains you for this playthrough. And another good thing is, like I said, the upgrades all carry through, and those become crucial to beating this. But basically, there's a few differences you're going to note in this playthrough. One, you're going to come across a lot more heavily armored enemies, a lot of the more karate-type enemies, enemies with guns, enemies with stun batons, more guys with shields. So basically just tougher enemies every time you fight. Those end up not being too bad, especially with the takedowns, and then later on when you get the electrocutioner's gloves, those help a lot. When you activate the electricity, you can fight through anybody without them blocking it. Another thing, and this was in New Game Plus, is you'll notice that typically in these games, when an enemy is about to strike you, these blue lightning bolts will come up over their head. That doesn't happen in this playthrough, and what those things do is it tells you need to counter. And because that doesn't happen, what you need to do is you need to be extra vigilant and really kind of keep an eye on all the enemies surrounding you, and make sure you kind of learn their movements to know when you need to counter. And if that fails, all you have to do is keep double tapping A to evade, and that's a really good way to like move around the combat zone, kind of gauging where all the enemies are without exposing yourself to danger.
I know I caught yours.
Alright, so this is the first boss fight of the game, Killer Croc, who looks fantastic in this game. You'll see I'm kind of rusty on this, but I'm actually glad. So some of these fights in the game in my playthrough I finished flawlessly, and others not so much. And I'm glad for that, because I want you to know that, you know, not being able to die, that's a pretty intimidating task. And so I'm kind of glad I didn't do everything perfectly, because I want you to know that if you get hit multiple times, you can still beat this. The biggest thing is to not panic, because these games are actually kind of rhythm based, and what I mean by that is if you might be in this really good flow with your combat, have a high combo and everything, but what might happen is when you get hit, that kind of throws off your rhythm, and then you'll notice that, like, for some reason now all of a sudden it's a lot easier to get hit because your whole flow was messed up. But I want you to know that when you're doing this, if you get hit multiple times or whatever, don't panic. Just try to calm down and finish the fight. And then, like I said, worst case, you can restart the checkpoint. But so you'll see in this playthrough, I do some sections perfectly and some are kind of ugly. This Killer Croc section, I got hit more times than I'd like to admit. But basically, those are all the starting tips I have for you. Want to wish you luck on your playthrough of I Am the Night mode. If at any time you find yourself in trouble or stuck or want to know the best way to do things, I would refer to my videos. I'll throw a playlist to all these videos in the link or in the description below so that you can find the proper help. If you enjoy these videos, if you enjoy my commentary and the gameplay, if you find it helpful, whatever, I always appreciate a like and a thumbs up and a subscribe. Those mean a lot to me. Leave a comment below letting me know what you think, and yeah, that's pretty much all for this video, guys. Once you do this, you'll finally take down Killer Croc, and we'll be able to move on with the rest of our playthrough. So, without further ado, welcome to Batman Arkham Origins, and I will see you in the next video.
Your boss, where's he going?
The boss of me is me.
You want teeth? I want answers.
Wait till Black Mask's assassins get through with you.
What assassin?
Whoever wins is gonna be famous and rich.
At least we know he won't be ugly.
Freeze! Hold it right there!
I'm taking you in. Not tonight.
No such thing as a Batman, huh?